I have to get photo for us. No, they found it on the.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to
and
the
to the republic
for
which it stands,
one
one nation,
under
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, may we have the roll call, please?
Sure. Frank Maupin,
Here.
Dottie Williams, Tom Carroll, Don Kincaid,
Here.
Britt Bourne, Dan Lehan,
Here.
Steve Imhoff,
Present.
BJ Yetter. All right, everyone's here.
Okay. We have the reading and approval of minutes from February 4th, 2020. Everyone take a time and a couple of minutes to read through that if you haven't already. Is there anyone that has not read them prior to the meeting? I'll take that as a approval everyone has. Were there any changes that anyone may have noticed?
I'll move approval of the minutes as submitted.
Second.
It's been moved and second for the approval of the minutes. See, any additions to the agenda? Having none, let's have the report of the district clerk and treasurer.
Okay, I had a few reports for you in your packet. I hope that you had a little chance to take a look because there's quite a few numbers we're dealing with right now. Our last meeting was in February. We had to cancel the meeting in April, so we haven't had a meeting since then. The first thing I want to go over, there's a letter you should see that we're going to send to the auditor, Hamilton County Auditor tomorrow. Dear sir, due to recent events, the district needs to reduce our certificate of estimated resources in the general fund. And then we also need to reduce our 2020 appropriations. So we will have a resolution today that reduces our appropriations. You know, we're guesstimating that we needed to reduce our revenue by about $102,000, and we'll go over that. So the chief went ahead into the budget and tried to reduce around the same amount or close to it, and he was able to do that, about $112,000. So I'm just showing you that letter because that'll go out tomorrow. If you want to look on the next report where it says year-to-date financial report, this one. And this is kind of, I took this, it's the report that you normally get, but I put it on Excel and put a few other things on it to help us go over everything. This time in the first row, it has year to date. So that's actually the amount that we've received, the revenue, and the money that we've spent in expenses. If you look at the second column, it says original, that's the original budget, okay? The third column is the amended budget, what we're doing tonight. And then the fourth column tells you the difference. So that 102,000 and the other 112, we're going to go over that real quick so you can see where that's coming from. And then if you have any questions, just go ahead and ask them. Hamilton County Auditor, you know, with this COVID situation, you know, this is new to them too. So they don't know exactly what's going to happen with our real estate taxes. But they said it was probably safe to take 10% off the top for the second half of this year and for next year. they already take a few percentages off when they tell us how much we're going to get. So I just went ahead and took 5% off. So if you see that first line, Hamilton County Auditor says the difference is $62,868.82, which is 5% less revenue than what our levy would pull normally. And then I wanted to mention, and the chief will go into this more, and I think he did already in his letter. The 100.139 SR is the COVID CARES grant. We didn't put in for that. We just happened to get it. And the state auditor is not exactly sure how we're supposed to handle this accounting yet. So there was part of it that said that we could use it for lost revenue. And that's what really the chief wants to do. So I went ahead and just received the money, put it in. I didn't tell the county anything yet. That money's not appropriated for, because we really would like to use it just like in EMS supplies with the appropriation that we already have. So we're just waiting on guidance from the auditors on what to do. Miscellaneous income 100, 150. I actually added to that. We got a VW workers' comp rebate, I think, which everybody did. Underneath that, we sold that vehicle that the chief was trying to sell on Gov Deals for $29.35. EMS billing, we had to lower it. We needed to lower it anyway, so I lowered it 50,000 because there have been less runs, and with less runs, there's less revenue. And then the state of Ohio, I just took the 5% off. Okay, so that comes to 102,000 less revenue. Then as far as expenses goes on salary, we just looked at this and thought we need to at least get 100,000 off of this since we're not going to have that revenue possibly. So the chief took 39,000 from salaries, EMS billing. We took 3,000 from that. Again, less EMS runs, lower charges because they charge us 6.5%. Radios, and he originally thought they were going to cost 94,000 and found a better price than radio, so we were able to take 40,000 off of there. If you want to look on the second page, gas and oil, 300,034. We took 4,000 because the gas prices are low, and we knew that we could probably take that and not have to worry about it. Underneath communications, we were able to take 5,000, just reducing costs. Gas and electric, 300,046. We took 2,000 from that because we think maybe it was probably a little higher than it could have been. Training, the chief took 2,000 from that. Capital improvement, normally it's 15,000. We took 7,500 from that. And we just trying to lower costs, and these are the places that we can do it, without hurting the department. And dispatching, $8,000 lower. Actually, when we appropriated that 20,000, we didn't know that our contract was going to be lower for this year. So we were going to have to do that anyway. So we were lucky that we had that 8,000. And then down in physicals, again, we just, we're not hiring a lot of people. So we were able to take 2,000 from that. So then if you just look at the last page, it shows the difference is that 112,500 in expenses. So we lowered our expenses by that. Did anyone have any questions about that?
It's really good.
That was it? Okay. All right, the next one, I have the expense by vendor detail that you guys are used to looking at. I have April and May, if you had any questions on those. I really didn't notice anything out of the ordinary, normal bills. I will mention in May, I don't even think I told the chief this yet. If you look at the May report and look at Dental Care Plus, they didn't send an email or anything about this, but I noticed when I got the bill, Normally it's $546.05, but then they also gave us a COVID credit for half the amount. I guess maybe because people couldn't use it and couldn't go to the dentist. I don't know. Yeah, so we paid half. And that's for June. So maybe they'll give us another one. I don't know, but I was surprised because I thought, huh. So that was nice. Then after that, the last thing I have is the 5-year forecast, which I was going to present in April, which we've been really going through this and trying to see. So I really, you know, as far as the forecast goes, I had to, just to kind of give us an idea. In fact, the auditor said it's people that are not doing forecasting for the next 5 years right now are going to be in trouble. This is the time that you need to do the forecasting. So we went in for 2020 and 2021 and lowered things a little bit, kind of based on what we're lowering right now and what we're changing the budget to. Okay, so we lowered Hamilton County. I lowered it, the revenue for 2020 and 2021, and put it back up 2022. You know, apparently if people don't pay their real estate taxes or they get behind, we won't get that revenue. I guess we'll get it eventually, but everything's kind of behind. So what they get this year, it really is going to affect next year, I believe, more than it is this year. They said something about the second half of this year, but I don't really understand how that can happen. But we did it anyway. Then you go down to EMS billing, 160. We had to change it to 325,000 where it was 351,000 last year, but we changed that for a couple of years and then put it back up. So really everything, we really just mainly focused on 2020 and 2021, you know, reductions as far as the revenue. Let's see. You will notice on 2024 ambulance financing, 100.149, says 180,000. The chief had that in the forecast, I think, was it a year earlier?
Yes, Belinda, we anticipated most likely 2023 for new ambulance. Based on our maintenance right now on it, they are getting up in mileage, but we think we can sneak another year out of it as a front line, since we do swap between the two units to keep them both on the road. So we're confident we can go out to 2024 for the new ambulance.
So that helps with the bottom line a little bit. Let's see. The second page just continues on with the expenses. I just wanted to mention that the last levy we had was in 2013. So that's pretty good. If you look, really the bottom line is how this is going to be affected. 2020, you'll see we had a carryover from 2019 to 2020 for $1,400,333,841.24. So basically we have that money still. That was our carryover. And we're projecting that our carryover to 2021 will be, we're still going to have $1,192,000. And then it'll go down from there to 2022. Our carryover will be $600, well, we think $669 or $669,000, $795.84. And that is when you guys like to look at things, because you had said something about $500,000 or $600,000 you'd like to keep in reserve. Hopefully, this forecast hopefully be better than what we're forecasting at this point, but it's difficult right now for us to figure that out. If none of this COVID would have happened, this would have been a whole different story. So if you have any questions about that or anything, let me know.
So the carryover will be 500,000.
Excuse me?
Carryover, did you say would be 500,000?
No, you mean to next year? Well, let's just put it this way. The carryover to 2021, if this forecast is correct, will be a little over $1 million, almost 200,000. So we'll still be okay for a couple years.
I think if I could jump in, Dottie, I think what I heard Belinda say, and maybe I misunderstood Belinda, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if you look at, I just lost the line. Is it the ending cash balance? It's line 102 in the spreadsheet. Or are you looking at, I'm sorry, 107 in the spreadsheet. In 2022 is when our forecast would dip below 600,000. That's several years out, but
Yeah.
we have historically asked the voters for an increase in property taxes when we are forecasting 500,000 to 600,000 fund balance. So that's potentially asking the voters sometime in 2022, if this forecast materializes the way Belinda has represented it, which is a very good representation, but with a lot of assumptions that none of us can predict based on COVID and the economy and all that sort of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, there are a lot of courses out there right now that the finance officers and all over, there's webinars that I'm attending about how people are trying to forecast and things. So we'll just have to see in the next couple months what happens. But I think it looks like we're in really good shape right now. So if you don't have any other questions, that's all I have.
I make a motion. Thank you, Belinda. It's a good report. I make a motion we accept it.
Second.
I'm alive.
Been a motion to accept the treasurer report. Report from the director of, the director of operations. The fire chief report.
Okay, thanks, Don. First and foremost, I want to publicly thank the staff at the fire department for coming in every day during the COVID pandemic. They have taken very few days off, none for illness that we're aware of relating to COVID. They've worked extra, they've worked smarter. They're not real comfortable with the masks and the suits and the goggles, but it's kind of the reality we live in. So if it wasn't for the staff, we couldn't do what we've been doing for the last 3 or 4 months. So I want to publicly thank everybody that works for us. Belinda, you've been doing a great job, even though you've been at home. So I appreciate that as well. So first and foremost, I want to thank everybody that's put in the hard work. Secondly, you received in your packets the written report for this meeting. I don't think there's too much that I need to belabor on it. I think Belinda hit some of the things on the COVID grant information, the CARES Act. That's kind of still up in the air as to what we're doing. We're continuing to apply for some funding through the federal government for some extra COVID supply related cash, as well as the typical grants that we put in for. And then lastly, in the packet was some information, once again, review of the radio system that we're looking to purchase to replace the Motorola system. So unless I really have nothing else to report at this time other than what was in the packets. There hasn't been any real significant incidents since this information went out. So if there are any questions about what was presented to you guys in a written format, I'm happy to take questions.
Any questions for the chief?
Just have a compliment. That was a great savings on the radio.
Thank you. Yeah, that was, we were looking at some different kinds, and we factored in the higher price because Motorola, that is the radio that's commonly used in Hamilton County. And there's multiple reasons for that. Some because of logistics, some of it's a little bit political. We've been testing the other version of radio. It's a long-standing company with a great tradition, a great history of service. We don't see any quality issues. We don't see any safety issues. And at the end of the day, when it's about half the price for a very similar product, I think we would be silly not to take the better price on the equipment. So again, just a way that we're able to research and save how we're going to do things. The other nice thing is we don't have a lot of installation to do. When it comes to the radio system, we do have to put in chargers and some adapters in the trucks. Again, we're going to do that all in-house. So that's a charge we don't have to pay somebody else to do. So again, just another way to save costs to the district. So, but I appreciate you noticing that we're trying to do that.
Okay. Make a motion to accept the chief's report.
So moved.
A second.
Okay, report statements from the trustees on old matters. Are there any? Hearing none, moving right along.
Chief's evaluation forms.
Yeah, the chief evaluation forms, they are under there. At this point in time, I guess we would need to somehow come together and communicate with that.
Don, if I may.
Well,
that information, the aggregated report was presented to me by Alan Avis. He forwarded that to me through email, obviously due to the restrictions at the station. So I did have that, and I've reviewed it with myself. I had a couple questions that I'm addressing, but nothing that was of any real concern that threw me for a loop. So I appreciate the feedback and the encouragement I got from the board, and I'm happy to continue to serve and hopefully keep moving forward in this.
Thank you.
that sounds like a winner. Thank you, thank you. Well, that shows you're doing a good job also. Now I guess we can go to the report of statements from trustees on new matters. Are there any?
I just had one, Mr. President, just one. Last week, I received a voicemail from a resident at like 9 o'clock at night about a fire hydrant that was left on all day. I currently am serving as the acting public works director since Rick Lunkel retired. So that came to me, and I asked the chief and the assistant chief if they were aware of the situation. And I just wanted to say Denny went out, I think personally, at about 9:30, checked the fire hydrant, called the resident. Turns out Cincinnati Water was flow testing it. I've never seen them leave it on overnight unsupervised, but apparently it's a new day. But thank you, Chief, for doing that, and the great customer service to the resident calling her. I guess you can get great service after 9 o'clock in this town. Thank you.
Yes, you can. Absolutely. It's one of the beautiful things about Silverton Deer Park is that some of that small town feel really hasn't gone away. So, but I appreciate that, and I'm glad we were able to help that resident out.
Village manager, was that free water?
Free? No, that's not free. Free comes from the sky. That's what we call God water. This was Cincinnati water, and it ain't free.
Okay, that's good.
Give us a credit for it.
Okay.
It's all God water, I guess.
Moving right along. Okay, we're at the public forum for comments or questions. Are there any? Oh, we don't have a public forum over there, do we? Is there anyone else listening?
I think they might be listening on the public forum, but I don't think they can.
They can respond?
Right.
Okay. Well, we'll take that into consideration for the next time we meet face to face. Deliberations for trustees regarding district matters, operations, finances, and any other proposed resolutions or enactments.
I have 2 resolutions. Resolution 2020-04, a resolution reducing the district's 2020 appropriation.
Move for passage.
Second.
It's been passed. And second? Now on signatures on these, how do you want to deal with that, Dottie? Dottie, excuse me. Belinda?
Alan, what do we do about the signatures? Do I get them later or do I just sign them for, you know what? I'll do an X when I take a roll call?
Well, I think we'll get them later.
Okay,
Um,
the roll call.
you know, for right now, you know, everybody's given their assent. I think we're safe to rely on that assent that everybody has. We can talk offline about the logistics of actually getting the physical signatures. We could do it by a combination of original, scan, whatever's easiest technologically, circulate it. I mean, when it comes back is not really all that crucial. Under the circumstances, I think we can adapt as needed.
You know, the one, okay. So I'll go ahead and take a roll call on that unless there's any questions. Frank Maupin,
Yes.
Dottie Williams,
Yes.
Tom Carroll,
Yes.
Don Kincaid,
Yes.
Britt Bourne,
Yes.
CJ Yetter,
Yes.
Dan Lehan,
Yes.
Steve Imhoff.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, resolution 2020-05, a resolution authorizing the purchase of radio equipment.
I'll make a motion.
I second the motion.
It's been motioned and second for the purchase of the radios. Can we have a roll call?
Frank Maupin,
Yes.
Dottie Williams, did she hear me? Dottie Williams,
Yes.
Tom Carroll,
Yes.
Don Kincaid,
Yes.
Britt Bourne,
Yes.
CJ Yetter,
Yes.
Dan Lehan,
Yes.
Steve Imhoff.
Yes.
Great, thank you. And I think
It's been motion been passed. Resolution 2005. Any readings of noteworthy district correspondence or communication?
Don, if I may,
Hearing none.
Don, real quick, if I could, real quick. I don't have necessarily correspondence, but we have received a ton of snacks, donuts, meals from the residents, from board members. So we want to publicly thank everybody that's thought of us during the pandemic. We put on a few pounds as we've gone through this. Hopefully we'll get back to some normal food soon. But again, I want to thank the community for supporting us and helping us do our job to help you guys out. So thank you to everybody.
It's called the Quarantine 15. Okay.
Yeah, I've got it.
Not all curves have to be flattened.
A lot of them are growing, believe me.
Some of us are a little more round than usual.
I like my pear-shaped curve.
Okay. Thank you for that, Danny.
And also, we're going to we're starting to assess things. Our goal at the firehouse is to try to be more open for the public starting the first part of July. So barring any real uptick in the COVID, I'll see with you guys if you guys feel comfortable meeting together in person for the August meeting. Again, if there's any worry about how things are going, I'm fine with however we meet, but I'll at least put it out to you guys for consideration that if we can get things open back up normal in July, maybe meet together in person in August just to kind of get back to normal.
I think that's a good suggestion.
That's all I had. Thanks. Don.
Yeah, as long as things go. Okay, so, yeah, Belinda, we'll talk about it with Denny. Let's see, are there any, the passage of any prepared resolutions or other legislative enactments?
No, I think we're done with that.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay. All right. I have a, we need to close the meeting, resolution.
That's why I need a motion to adjourn.
Yes.
I make a motion.
I'm gonna vote against it. I'm enjoying this too much.
Yeah.
It's another Zoom call for me.
You can probably stay on as long as you want once you get off.
No, I think you gotta stay on, Belinda, so just be you and me at the end. But
Oh, I gotta stay
you
on.
know, thank you for your willingness to help.
Did you get that?
Did you get it? I second.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Not that I don't love you all.
It's good to see everybody.
Yeah,
It is.
this worked out good.
Always good to be seen.
I'm just glad I didn't get bumped off by Britt.
No, Junior got bumped off by Tommy Camp.
That's all right.
And Tom, you like you got a little bit of sun. Carol.
Yeah. I need a hat as Public Works Director, so.
I gotta get out there.
Or more sunscreen, or I don't know.
Okay.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Okay.
Thank you all. Appreciate it. We'll
Nice.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Stay safe.